everybody, welcome to Smashing Game Time. We are two brothers that go through gaming's back catalog of yesteryear. I am your host, Nick. As always, I am joined by my brother, Josh.
Cowabunga, dudes.
Is that a Ninja Turtle reference in 2024?
That is a Ninja Turtle reference in 2024.
I do think there's been a lot of Ninja Turtle games in the last 2 years, if I'm remembering correctly.
There has, and the one I just played, I'm torn because it gave me a very nostalgic feeling, but after more and more playing it, I was just wanting to be done with it.
Okay, save that.
I'll save
it. Hey, folks, Smashing Game Time. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. That's right. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, YouTube proper, where you can see our wonderful faces in video form. So if you are listening and you want to see, go to YouTube and look for Smashing Game Time. Hey, fuck the algorithm, tell a friend. That's right. We don't fuck with the machines. The algorithm don't know shit about us. Word of mouth is king here. Did you know YouTube is working on a thing where they're getting rid of views on video? Like on the homepage, you can't see views and you can't see when it was uploaded.
Yep, which I think is stupid.
The views thing, I think I can go without. Like, I always thought it was weird that it shows you the amount of views on the homepage for something. Like, oh, everyone else looking at this, I should go look at this. I think that I like that aspect of it. But then I think of all the AI bullshit that's out there and all the grovel. And I'm like, oh, so you're like, the amount of people that have seen something, sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, like this is the thing. Or like, when you're looking for the main video of the thing. Like if something happened and you want the video of like, oh, this big fight happened, so here's the video.
You want the original. You don't want a copycat or somebody who just like basically has it playing on like basically those TikTok videos where it's like they're doing like the talking and then the other side that's like something else going on where there's a video game on the phone or whatever.
Yeah. Like it's the thumbnail of it is like, oh, this is the fight, and then it comes on and it's actually someone reviewing the fight and like, oh, I'm Nick Kaufman, I'm here to tell you that this is what happened, and they only have screenshots of the fight. You don't actually see the fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's shovelware in social media in general for you. So.
It's just it's regular old brain rot stuff. But I digress. We have a good episode for you. We're going to talk about what we've been playing and doing or watching or whatever the hell is going on in our world. We're also going to share some news. Some of this actually, I think pretty much all this is actually breaking at this point. We're recording.
Literally, as of in the past, like 12 hours of recording, yeah.
We're recording on the 29th, Tuesday night here. And to end the show, we're going to both pick our top 5 scary games of all time. That's right, our top 5 scary games of all time. If I say it 10 more times, we'll pop up in SEO. You couldn't hear Josh, but he's like fist pumping in the air. Josh loves SEO.
I could see the green on me going. I said, yeah.
Oh, it didn't pop. It didn't register for me for some reason.
Yeah, but SEO.
Josh is really, really into SEO. He's like, he'll like, I'll call Josh and be, hey, how you doing? He's like, I'm good. How's the SEO? He won't even ask how I'm doing. He'll ask how the SEO is doing. Yeah,
that's more important.
Sick fuck. A real sick fuck. Let's just get right into what's going on this week. Josh, you've played some games I haven't, and I will tell you why I haven't.
I will tell you why. Trust me, I heard. I heard of all the stories, and I'm just like, what?
Well, first of all, we are house hunting currently. We are on the hunt for the house. And we found a house that we like, and we made an offer. The person said, no, I want this much, and we're not going to pay the closing costs. And we were like, okay, well, hey, the amount you said, we'll do it, but then you're paying the closing costs. And they're like, nope, now we want this much, and we'll pay a portion of the closing cost. And then we were like, no, so that new amount you said, we'll pay that much, but then we're not paying the closing cost at all. And they're like, no, this. And then finally we're like, no, we're not. We're done. We're done negotiating. We're out. And then the seller reaches back out and they're like, hey, we want to keep negotiating. And and Lane my wife. I'm sure I've said her name on the show before. It's like, what do I tell the realtor to tell them? And I typed out this response. I said, they're not negotiating in good faith. We think out of respect of everyone's time, it's better for us to cut loose and go our separate ways. And the realtor sent those exact words to them. And then an hour later, we got an email where they're like, hey, we can up the percentage of the closing costs. And we've left them on red. We're done. We're fucking done. We're on to other houses.
I see. That was the most polite way to say, go fuck yourself.
Exactly. It's just like when you get a job offer and the salary isn't what you thought it was going to be. I've started telling folks like, "Hey, this would be financially irresponsible for me to take this offer. I'm stepping away." I don't even
Huh?
like I'll like when the offer comes, I'll first be, "Hey, can we up it?" And then when they're like, "No, fuck you," I'll be like, "Okay, well, this would be financially irresponsible. Thanks for the opportunity. See you later, alligator."
Not only that, but to just purposely keep like obviously they wanted to sell their house for more. Their realtor told them to sell it cheaper because there'll be a bidding war. Never happened. So they're like, no, we want to get more for this, but we put so much work into it, which probably they put a fresh coat of paint on something and uh, put a little bit of their what's the word they use for in house hunters, their own little stamp, their own little
Oh, I fucking
yeah.
hate it.
I hate that because I'm like,
I'm staying away from that channel while I'm house hunting because first of all, I can't stand the people they put on those, but also those channels. I miss the old home and garden television where they're on a set. Remember Room by Room? Remember Room by
mhm.
Room? They had the
Trading
cheat.
spaces.
Trading places too. That was a TLC. But Room by Room, they were
But
on a
that's
T.
still, but that was still there. Like that was still like that you categorized it with
Yeah,
that. It wasn't
yeah.
just this cheap shit.
But see, my issue with HGTV today is like it's all these monsters. Like the shows would be like House in the Middle of a Volcano, and all I want is like the room by room type show where they're on a set building something, kind of like what Home Improvement was knocking off. Like Home Improvement was a send up of those shows, but those shows were great because it was just this guy and this girl like, hey. We're going to show you how to do this difficult thing to build this kind of
It
counter, or we're going to show
it
you how to build an island in your kitchen, and
it
we're going
was
to show you how to get the most out of your counter space.
it was Pimp My Ride for old white people.
It was Pimp My Ride. Hey, we heard you like counter space in your kitchen, so we put a counter on top of your counter in this
Oh,
kitchen.
I could put so many groceries on there, man.
God, you're telling me I can fit 20 grocery bags on that counter?
6 burners? I'm so used to only
Oh
two.
my
What?
God. Wait a minute, you're telling me this island has a cabinet in it? You're telling me I can put a bread box on that island?
There's just so much storage. My life has changed.
But yeah, now the issue with HGTV is they're like, oh, we need the crazy things that no one has seen, and they'll do like the mini houses where it's people living in those little mini houses, and yeah, that's kind of cool, but they overdo it, and it's never fucking someone like you and me that's living in one of those. It's a billionaire that goes to it when they need to fucking like think. Like people love that Bo Burnham Inside comedy special that he did during COVID. Everyone's like, oh, it's so fucking deep. Like he went to places, man. He lived in that shed. And I'm pretty sure his shed is in the backyard of his $1 million house. I'm like,
I mean,
they're like, oh, he isolated himself. And I'm like, well, he could have isolated himself with higher ceilings.
I mean, but there's a point. You've got a point though. Like, if you look at every time I go on there because Andy watches it every time she eats lunch, and when she's home. So of course I have to sit there and watch it myself, which is fine. I don't care. I usually pick house number 2 because statistically it usually is the second house. I digress. But every time there's a commercial of like they're talking about their shows, it's some of the stupidest shit, and it's usually, and I say usually because there, of course, you have to have your occasional other demographics in there, but it's usually these white couples. Like literally, like 4 or 5 shows are like white couples in like probably their late 30s, early 40s. They have a couple kids, and they're like, "Oh, we help renovate our town."
Look, and yeah, and their jobs be, oh, I pick out buttons for shirts, and that's my job. And the thing I love about these is they never. I wish they would say like how much of a gift they got from their parents to be able to afford these homes.
Mhm.
It's like no, no, no. And these couples, there's always that one person you hate, who's like always like. You either hate the person who's like picky about everything, or you hate the person that's like, I love it. You always find a way to hate one or the other.
It's like you took my soul and put it on the tapestry of life.
I want to see an episode of like I want to see some House Hunters where by the end of the episode, I think that couple's going to get divorced. I want to see where they're bickering the whole way. They're
So
bickering.
rather
It's
than
a
them
big.
actually buying a house, rather than them being like, yeah, we just signed the paperwork and moved in 2 weeks ago. It's, yeah, we just signed the paperwork. And now we're finally separated. It's been 2 weeks.
Oh, the old switcheroo.
Yeah.
The what is it? The love it or list it. They're like, are you gonna love it or are you gonna list it?
I
And
mean,
it
I would
cut
for
it
once,
smash cuts to their divorce papers.
seriously, I would for once like there to be like a more realistic, like, yeah, it just didn't work out. We couldn't come up with it. And when we started talking about it, yeah, we just decided not to buy a house and not stay married or
I
not
want
get married.
I want an episode where we get so they all right, we're gonna do number two, and then they flash to like a year later, and the wife is living in it with like a new boyfriend. She's like,
It's
we
gonna be,
love,
it's gotta be her lesbian lover.
she's like, we love it so much. This is the best house ever. And then you flash to the husband who's living in like a shed somewhere, or he's living in like a rundown house near an underpass.
I mean, we can make it even a little bit darker.
Oh no! Oh god!
They,
Oh god!
they left.
He's dead. They
Yeah,
killed him.
so,
They killed
well,
him.
no, he killed himself, but it was in the like one of the rooms, and
Oh,
they kept the design pattern because they just looked so well.
we're 10 minutes in, so I think we can make that. I think we can make that joke as long as we're not doing it in the first minute. YouTube's like, okay, okay.
I just think it goes very well with the DIY channel. He did it himself.
So on the kissing your son subject, you know what I mean when I say kissing your son, right? You know KYS.
Yeah,
Does YouTube ding you if you mention something about KYSing?
I know a lot of times every time I see a video that was originally posted on YouTube or even gets like somewhere else, they always say unalive.
Okay.
They unalive themselves.
In the future, we might have to watch the KYSing talk. We might have to speak in code. Like, hey, you know what? I don't give a shit. KYSing.
He French kissed death. I can't help it. He gave some tongue, and death was a code on the first date.
What is the button? Alt F4 or Control F4?
Control F4.
He controlled F4 life. I don't give a shit. Fuck again, like I said, fuck the algorithm.
Actually, I think you're right with Alt F4.
What?
I'm thinking Control Shift F2, but you're right with Alt F4.
Alt F4, yeah. Get the fuck out of here with that algorithm. If we want to say kiss your son, we say kiss your son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing I've been up to is I fell down a stair.
Tell me, how did you do this?
So I was at my work. I was working a 3-day conference, and it was the first day. Long day. I'd gotten there at 7 a.m. It was about 4 p.m. when this happened. I had a little break before the dinner that we were getting ready to go to close out the opening night. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go take a shower because I smell like shit. But before I go take a shower at the rec center, I'm going to go to the library over here that's on the way. And the new Jeff Vandermeer just came out. I don't know. I think I left those books upstairs. New Jeff Vandermeer came out, and I still hadn't read the third one. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go get acceptance. I'm going to go take a shower, and then I'm going to get ready for this dinner. Go to the library, get the book. Elevator's out. And it's a central elevator. It's not like I'm being fat and being like, I'm going to take the elevator. No, like this was an elevator that's like the fastest way of getting where you're going. So like, fuck it. I'll take the stairs. I'm coming down. And you know when you think you're at the bottom, so you go to step like you're normally stepping?
Mm-hmm.
I had one more step to go. And I twisted my ankle in. And I've torn my ACL twice, and that might be the most painful. The twisting of the ankle might be the most painful thing ever. I was rolling on, so I was on the flat part of the stairs between two sets of stairs. I was rolling, screaming. I'm in a circular staircase, so anyone below me or above me can hear me wailing for my life. What the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus fucking Christ, what the fuck? That hurts so fucking bad. It's fall break, so there's next to nobody on campus. There's maybe a few international students who couldn't go home roaming around the library, but they've all got their headsets on, so no one can hear you. And this fucking girl comes down the stairs. I'm fucking rolling. I'm fucking,
Please tell me she just walks right past
and she
you.
just fucking walks right past me. And so I'm sitting there. I finally calm down. I've got my head on the stair behind me, the stair that hurt me. I've got my head on it like it's a fucking pillow. And I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like I'm trying to figure, am I going to hop? Because I've still got 3 floors to go. And I'm like, am I going to hop down? What the fuck is going to happen? Finally, like 20 minutes later, this couple walks by and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? I was like, can you go see if there's like an elevator downstairs? And I'm laughing to keep myself from crying. And at this point, I've called coworkers to see if they can bring me crutches or a wheelchair or something, anything. So I'm like, hey, go see if like the front desk of the library has a wheelchair or something. Please, anything, help me. They go down. And the library worker comes up. He's like, we don't have a wheelchair. We don't have crutches. Don't worry. I've called DPS, the public safety people on campus. Like, we're going to Like, they're gonna come and everything's gonna be okay. DPS gets there. There's 3 fucking basically campus cops standing over me, taking my information. What's your name? What's your email? Phone number? Uh, uh, can you explain what happened? It's like, okay, they're like, do you want to ride an ambulance? I was like, no, I don't want to ride an ambulance. Nope. They're like, oh, okay, we can take you to this place. I'm like, no. By that time, I had called Lane and told Lane to go get crutches at CVS and come get me. She was still like an hour away though, because she was at a house. She was viewing a house that I was supposed to like look at with her, like on a phone call. So I'm sitting there and they're like, okay, well, how are we gonna get you out of here? I was like, do you guys have an office chair? Somebody goes and gets an office chair, and we go to the other elevator, which I completely forgot existed, that was closer to me when I came into the fucking library. And they take me downstairs, and I'm just sitting there rolling. They roll me out on a fucking office chair into the parking lot. And then I go to the emergency room. I think it's broken because it hurts so fucking bad. I get my x-ray at 8 p.m. I'm sitting in the waiting room at the hospital, in the ER. It's the waiting room is just a rogues gallery of characters. There are people fighting, people yelling at each other. It calmed down for a little bit, and I took like a 20-minute nap. I wasn't seen until about 1:30 a.m., at which the doctor calls me in. He's like, hey, nothing's broken. If it still hurts in about a week, go get an MRI. Bye, bud. And then as I come out back to the waiting room, a homeless man is being kicked out, and he's threatening to kill people. He's going to murder people. Like, do you know the video of the guy that gets tased by the cops, and then he looks at his wife or his girlfriend? He's like, I'm going to get you, bitch. Mm-hmm. Looked just like him. Just like a spitting fucking image.
Probably was him.
And Lane sent me a photo of this guy, and not his whole body, just like she was sitting there for hours on end, just staring at this man's foot, and he had a hole in his sock and like two or three of his toes out of the sock. And she sent me the photo, and I looked at it, and I fucking just about threw up. The guy's obviously got it bad, but just getting that photo after, you know, when you're hurt, and then like, you know, you have all this adrenaline, and then finally you come down from all the adrenaline, and like your stomach's kind of queasy, you can't really eat anything, and anything can like set you off, right? Like make you like feel sick. That fucking foot made me feel sick. So I'm let's see, what is it, Tuesday now? That was Thursday night. I'm still on one crutch, but I'm getting around pretty well.
So sounds like everything is fine. It just twisted your ankle and hurt like bitch.
It was a high ankle sprain. I'm not going to show you my foot on camera right now, but the bottom of my foot, the blood is pooling. It's pooling. It's nice and bruised down there. I have it propped right now, in case you were wondering. Not above my head though. It needs to be above my head, so I'll have to do that after the show. But that was my Thursday. I didn't do the conference on Friday, thankfully. And then Saturday I had a full day at the conference. I was on a crutch. It was okay. And now I'm recovering. And people thought I was brave, and I was just like, guys, it was a high ankle sprain. I'm okay. They're like, oh my God, you're so tough.
You're so brave.
You're so brave. How are you doing this?
You're a hero.
And I say, man, 1 foot at a time, man. 1 foot at a time. I've been watching a lot of movies too, mainly for the other podcast. One that I didn't watch for the other podcast was Trap. Do you know this movie, Trap?
I've seen it. It's actually pretty good.
The Josh Hartnett movie where he is a serial killer with his daughter at a Pops show, and he's got somebody back at his place that he's going to murder later. I liked it. I thought there were some things I have some beef with it.
I mean, yeah, but honestly, the fact that they gave up the twist like immediately upon the trailer, I was like, oh, you could have just kept that secret the whole time.
No, I think that's great. I think the fact that the theater, I think the fact that the whole show is a trap for the killer, fucking amazing. I was like, that's awesome.
I mean, that's
amazing.
Like by far, like like whoever thought of that is fucking genius.
Because as soon as you see all the cops, you're like, that's a lot of cops. Because you're like, there's gonna be some cops, but that's a lot of cops. That's too many cops for somebody who's like on the Taylor Swift level in this movie.
Right.
And then, I don't know, just the daughter in the back half of the movie just completely disappears from everything, and they make it about his wife. And I'm like, but it would have been cooler if like there was more about the central relationship is the father-daughter thing, and they kind of just disappear. She kind of just disappears.
I mean, like I said, I think with them giving away the premise almost immediately was like, okay. I mean, I liked it, but
But that's how they get you into the theater.
oh yeah, for sure.
Him
Like I
being
was like, yeah, I want to see it for that.
because if you didn't know he was a serial killer, because okay, so you find out that it's a trap for a serial killer. Like Josh Hartnett acting panicked, you're gonna be like, why is he panicked if he's not a serial? Like you're gonna wonder why he's so panicked.
You could easily go to someone's like maybe they kidnapped his daughter
The,
or his daughter's gone missing. Like you know what I mean? Like you could have like premised it to be like he's panicked the whole time, then you come to find out that it's actually him.
I mean, I think they made the right move. I do think I came away from watching that movie thinking this would have been a good episode of Dexter.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Dexter, like at a concert, trying to be normal, and then noticing everything. Like, I was like, Josh Hartnett had to have watched a few seasons of Dexter to get ready for this role. Just he had so many Dexter mannerisms, like smiling, like in the most goofiest of ways, being friendly, like him being friendly with the guy selling T-shirts. Just the way he was talking to him, I was like, this is so Dexter coded right now.
And every time I think of serial killers, though, I go straight to the guy from You.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm more of a Dexter guy. I've watched.
No. I'm not saying that like You is better. The only thing I think I like about it a little bit more is it seems a little more realistic because we have this women in America for some odd reason have a fascination with serial killers.
I think that's everyone. I don't think it's just women.
Oh well, that's why I said Americans.
I think
emphasize like
I think people. It's just like anything else. People are fascinated by what they don't understand. They're like, how can you reach a level? How can you get to a mental place where you're like,
I mean, you've
I'm
seen
gonna
the
wear
recent
that
trend,
guy.
right? Have you seen the trend for this year?
See the what?
Have you seen the like TikTok trend for this year for like Halloween?
Are people dressing as like Ted Bundy?
It's nothing to do with dressing up. It's TikTok specifically videos.
Killing people.
It'll be a girl running away, but like there'll be a caption. It's like when you're being chased by a serial killer, but then you realize he's hot, and like they'll turn around, they go to flash him, and it's like, why? No, my ass would be like. First off, realistically, your ass is gone. A serial killer's coming after you. You're not going to turn around and be like, I'm going to have sex with him. No, he's going to fucking stab you.
I'm going to flash my boobs at Leatherface.
But it's just like different iterations of that. Like one was like, when I'm being chased throughout the house by the killer, but then I realized it's my ex, and it's like, so you willingly would turn around and do that for your ex?
That one's dark because like on the domestic violence, on the like your killer, your assaulter is like usually someone you know. Like I don't know the exact statistics, but wow.
But it's just like the fascination of it. And it's like obviously like in our culture it's very but to me I'm like I don't see a fascination with it. I don't understand why there's a fascination of it. Like somebody help me.
Younger generations, their superstars were like the scientists and the philosophers, and then we got to a point where it was the musicians and the movie stars, and then we jumped to a place where it was serial killers and dumbass TikTokers.
Just something about those brothers, those Menendez brothers, they're just so hot for killing their dad.
Can you imagine being sandwiched between them?
Oh man, I want to talk about getting hotboxed.
Can we call this episode the Menendez sandwich without?
We could try.
Who did they kill? Who did they kill again? Their parents?
Their dad.
Their dad. Didn't they kill their mom too, though?
I don't remember if they killed their mom. I know their dad for sure because their dad was the one who was abusing him, and their mom was like a super alcoholic.
Instead of a menage a trois, the Mendez a trois. Oh. Josh, what have you been playing? You hinted at some Ninja Turtles you were playing. Are they still teenage? Are they still mutant?
Yes, they're very teenage. They're very mutant.
Did they ever grow dicks? So. They always had like that. I guess their dicks would be hidden in their shell, wouldn't it?
I guess I don't know turtle anatomy that well.
Turtles, like it's just like every other part of their body, like it comes out. Or maybe I'm thinking of tortoise.
I don't know.
And turtles just maybe do turtles like here sex education in America, it's broken. Maybe like the whole shell comes off and like their penis is like the size of like them.
Are they like a transformer or something?
That'd be tight. They just transform into a big turtle penis.
Oh Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed.
Unleashed. Mutant turtle penis unleashed.
God, Jesus Christ. So as I'm starting to form a migraine from that, with his fascination with turtle penises.
I'm just glad we got away from the Mendeza boy. Mendeza?
Mene-
Mana. What is it?
Mendeza, the Mendez.
The Mendez? We got away from the Mendeza boys.
Mendeza boys is Mendez.
The Mendez. We got away from the Mendez boys.
Jesus. Anyway, yeah, we went from serial killers to turtle dicks. So it's a sequel to the 2023 movie that they did.
Okay, that movie's okay.
So the best way to put it, it's basically think of your standard, like think back to all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games you played at the arcade.
Like the side scrollers.
Yeah, just think that basically, but in 3D.
I have no problem with this yet.
Then they decided, okay, there's collectibles. Still, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, okay, you have me. That's part of the formula.
Typical video game, okay.
In between missions, they give it what I call the persona theme.
You start dating other turtles and like...
Well, no, you start dating other humans. No, of all seriousness, you have days to do things. Like you'll pick, oh, you have 3 days to do this mission. And in between, you go talk to some of the other characters throughout this universe, and you make relationships with them. And the better the relationship is, the better that person's perks are. So, for example, Leonardo, he is his like person is like the founder of Coexist, who is what Coexist is basically what a society that helps mutants and humans coexist together.
Because there's a lot of mutants in that world.
Yes. Basically, he teaches Leo apparently how to be a leader. So the more you start to do with him, your relationship goes up, and then when his relationship goes up, Leonardo has more skills that you can buy.
I don't see what you hate. This sounds awesome so far.
It's not.
Why not?
So after the first couple times, you're like, okay, yeah, like there's only like a handful of people you think you have to meet at first, but then there's more. And there's more places you go to. And there's more relationships you have to fumble around with, and less days. And then the glitches come in. My God. Oh, it is buggy. At one point, there's a scene where Ralph is talking to a girl who is a swimmer, and she has a false leg.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be like sitting on the ledge, like adjacent to her. All of a sudden, I'm pretty sure it looked like he was popping a squat on her face. And I wish I took a screenshot of it.
Wait a minute. You know how turtle penises work. You were leading me on earlier. You've seen it firsthand.
I have seen it firsthand. Except for they're like truly teenagers, and it's like, this is very
oh no.
Yeah, like FBI, this is not my PS5.
Turtle statutory.
And then the collectibles. Oh my God, the collectibles. There's ooze canisters that let you like basically build up like you have like 3 different canisters you pick up. You get a red one, which is just increases your attack. You've got a green one, which just gives you more health, and you've got a blue one, which allows you to do assist. So if you have assist, you can call the other turtles that you're not playing as, and they can do special things. Ralph throws in shurikens, basically. Donatello calls in these crates that have food in them or power-ups. Michelangelo just comes in and basically just does like a real quick whirlwind. And then I played as Leo the whole time, so I actually don't know what his was. But you would go in and it's supposed to be like, okay, maybe like 1 or 2 per level. And there'd be times I found like 5 or 6. I'm like, okay. I just assumed it was part of it. Like maybe you can find them throughout the game because it is a kid's game. So I'd find like 3 blues and 2 reds, just as an example. At the end, though, it only gave me 1 blue.
Boss fights. How were the boss fights?
That's honestly probably the most difficult part of this whole entire game.
Are they bad? Are they bad? Just like basically like not bullet sponges, but swords, but like just sponges?
No, so they take normal damage, which was fine. They deal a lot of damage though. So the first boss fight is with Rocksteady and Bebop.
Classics. Are they? Is it meant to be? Is it like preferably like? Does it play better as a co-op game?
Yes,
Okay.
I would say so.
I had a hunch that it did. Like some of those games just scale weird when you're playing solo.
Yeah, like all the other enemies, like honestly, this game was super easy. Like I was just like at one point mind numb with it, but when you get to the boss fights, I'm like shaking my head, going, Jesus.
What the fuck happened?
Especially the last one. I'm not going to spoil it for those who maybe still want to play it. I screamed at my computer or my monitor because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He should not be this hard.
Well, is your review out? Yeah, I see that your review's out for
review's
that.
out. Mm-hmm.
I might read that later.
I'm just gonna let you know now. I mean, it's if you're fine dealing with all the issues, the bugs, and all that, and you want to play it for 40. I mean, in some cases I know it's 30, but I think for PS5 specifically it was 40. Not a bad game. Like, I mean, I would still save your money, wait for it to go on sale, but still not bad for $40, especially if you're gonna play with your kid or someone younger who loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
You didn't mention no skateboarding.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Well, it's because there's not really skate.
It's
one of the ways
traversal. It's traversal.
Yeah, it's one of the traversals. Yeah, yeah, technically, yeah. But that is not even the best one though.
What else are you playing?
Metaphor ReFantazio.
Oh no, not one of these.
Oh yeah, the true Persona. Atlas has guided me and said, "You played the shitty Teenage Mutant Turtles game. We're gonna give you our game." And I said, "Thank you, Lord."
No, make it
And
stop. Make it stop.
I'm loving it so far. Honestly, when they give you a game right off the bat, you're in a very difficult area and you're supposed to run from monsters, and I say, "No, sir. I'm gonna try and fight everything."
God,
And
I
get
hate
killed
this.
instantly. I love it.
I hate this so
Love
much.
it.
I hate you.
I love it.
I hate
I
you.
killed so many hyenas. So many. And the game didn't give me shit for it. I literally, no joke, you're supposed to probably spend 2 minutes at most running through this fucking area just to get to the city. I shit you not, I stayed there for an hour and a half just trying to kill the enemies outside of battle.
You drive me crazy, you know this?
Oh, I don't care. I loved it.
So this is basically Persona, right?
Basically, I mean, yeah, it's Atlas made it. It's honestly at this point, any of Atlas's games that you've played, you will significantly catch on that they're all. I mean, like they all use the same enemies. Basically, they all use the same abilities. They might rename them for story purposes or whatever. But yeah, basically, you know when it's their game. This you can tell they made it, 100% without a doubt.
Is it set? Is it set in the same universe or is it separate? Like,
technically, I would say it's separate, or if it is the same universe, it is like a different point of time, like a far significant different part of time.
Atlas is also the weird sex RPG guys, right?
I think
I forget what it's called. Sen Megami Tensei, right?
Oh yeah, Shin Megami Tensei. Yes.
Is that the sex RPG like where they had like weird, like body horror, penises and boobs like back in the PS2 days?
Yes, technically yes.
Nice.
Because then they clean it up for the third one, and that's the one everybody remembers.
They're like, hey, we're gonna take the sex stuff out because we want you to buy this, but also we have some sex stuff honestly, still in there.
Which honestly, I've never played those, but I kind of do because not the 1 and 2 with the penises and stuff, but the 3 and up because I've heard they're really good too.
I play 1 and 2 for the penises. I remember what were those PS2 RP like Star Ocean Till the End of Time or whatever those are called.
Oh, yeah, and they've remastered all of them, and I have all of them actually.
Nope, he's going to the stack. He's going to the stack. He's looking for it. Is it in fact in the stack? He's at the top. Oh my god, it's in the middle. It's the third game. Star Ocean. What's that one?
Integrity and Faithlessness. And it's the Japanese import.
Oh shit. Will that work on your PlayStation 5?
It will. I'd have to look it up. Also, got something else.
Let's just go through I want to go through the whole stack real quick.
Wait, going through the whole stack? Okay.
Real quick. So yeah, quick to end this segment.
I started grabbing all these games. I started thinking about, I was like, you know what? I need to start collecting.
Are these purchases or are these library gets?
These are purchases.
Okay, so let's go. Let's run through them real quick.
Okay, so at the top, The Last of Us Remastered.
Okay, for the third time.
Yeah. I just picked this one up the other day. The Last Guardian. I've never played it before.
You know what? I do want to fucking play that because I've got Shadow over here.
You've got Shadow?
I've got Shadow. I've got my collector's edition of Shadow of the Colossus. I got the Steelbook. I got the Steelbook.
We could swap and play.
Yeah, I'll hook my PlayStation up to the video card.
Only because it was $9. Callisto Protocol.
You sick fuck. You sick fuck.
$9.
Josh, that game is our fucking mortal nemesis. Hey, everything that fucking happened, it was a fucking dream.
I know.
It was a fucking dream. Hey, you know that really cool thing we set up at the end of the base game? It was a fucking dream. Fuck you,
Star
Callisto
Wars
Protocol.
Jedi Knight Collection.
Yeah, if it's not KOTOR, get it out of here.
Honestly, I bought a bunch of games to game with together. It was like $10 and I got like 6 games.
That is a cool looking box.
It is. Except for the back of it looks like it's been through hell.
Oh, it's just, yeah, it's, hey, Star Wars is property of blah, 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 blah.
Star Ocean. Scarlet Nexus.
Oh, shit. That's a name I haven't heard in a hot minute. And you got it for $4.99?
$4.99.
Was this at a GameStop?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Power to the player. All that shit.
Because it was with that stack of 6,
you don't have to
digitally.
You don't have to validate any of these, Josh.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. You have to fucking validate that.
I had to validate that because I knew you were going to make fun of me. Like, you had that when it came out.
You have to validate that one.
Fallout 76.
I do love their like Americana old 50s fucking vibe that they do with that shit.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
That's the remake of Modern Warfare from like 2019, right?
2018
or 19, somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. That's
$5.
Someone with Highway to Hell in it.
Yes. Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Sure, why not? Why not?
Assassin's Creed the Ezio Collection.
Killing me with this.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
That one, they were like, fuck you and the box. We don't give a shit.
Assassin's Creed Mirage, because it was $14.99 for the deluxe edition.
You have a problem. You haven't even held up. You haven't even held up a good Assassin's Creed yet.
Nicholas. Well, yes, I did.
Well, is there
Creed
more?
2, technically.
Is there more Assassin's Creed in your hand? Okay. There you go. There you go. I jumped the gun. I'm sorry.
Well, and even the Ezio collection, all those are fantastic.
2 is okay.
2. Oh,
2 is
never played 2 to its true ability.
2's story really fucking good. But I think what people forget is that you're still playing Assassin's Creed at that point. You're still doing all the same shit you were doing in the first game. You just have a better story around it and the more things to care about.
And that's just my PS4 games.
What else? Oh my God. What else is there?
I've got PS3 games.
Pull them out. Come on. I want to see. We have to see the collection. We have to see it all. Oh my God. You're going through that entire stack. I also
forgot I have God of War 3 for the PS3. Infamous 2 for the PS3.
All right. Hey, we'll cut the news shorter. I want to go through this entire stack. Let's fucking go.
White Knight Chronicles 2.
Okay, that's is that a hack and slash or like a turn-based thing?
Hack and slash, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
No, it is turn-based. Sorry. White Knight Chronicles 1.
You know it's obscure when they don't have the fucking box.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Tales of Exilia.
A little closer to you. There you go.
Tales of Exilia.
Okay.
Don't be confused by the cover. Tales of Exilia 2.
Wait, so your Tales of Exilia is in the crappy box. Your 2 is in the Tales of Exilia box?
Yeah, this is the Japan import.
Okay. Keep going.
And I'm not going online to get these specially. Like, that's how they're on Facebook Marketplace when I found them.
Gotcha.
Singularity.
All right, I remember that one.
Resistance Fall of Man.
Oh, that's so good. Bring Resistance back. It was so fun.
Resident Evil Raccoon City.
You're sick fuck. You're a sick fucking fuck.
Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
Ironically, that just came out on Steam.
Yeah.
Look
$2.
Look at you.
Ratchet and Clank, Crack in Time.
Is that the one that came out with the movie?
No.
Okay. No, the one
That's
for
the
PS4.
that's the 4 remake.
PS4.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Ratchet and Clank Trilogy.
Of course.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Classic.
Ni no Kuni. Wrath of the White Witch.
Josh, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you are a weeb.
Very much so. Nier.
Nier. All right. Is that the one with the butts?
No, this is the prequel to the Nier Automata
Yeah.
that everybody loves. It's the prequel.
Okay. But do people love the prequel? Has it like retroactively been like, oh my God, this is the most.
No, people love Nier Automata, whatever it's
Ataba?
fucking called.
Atamia? Mamma Mia?
Automata. They like that one more, but they actually did a lot of the things in that in one.
Okay. No butts though.
Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD remix.
Jesus Christ. Put it down.
Special book collection of number 1 HD remix.
Jesus Christ. You're making my stomach. Remember I said my stomach wasn't all recovered yet? You're making my
You're
stomach
welcome.
turn.
Killzone 3.
All right. Is 2 in there too?
2 is also in there.
There we go. Man, bring back the shooters. Haze. That's the Bumblebee one where they're all it's you've got like the sickness or you've got like the cure or whatever.
They use the
Nectar.
Yep, nectar is what's used to keep them fighting.
I remember a lot.
Ends up getting a crack.
I remember a lot from playing that first level and reading. Oh my God, the stack just fell. Sir,
I saved all but one game.
Sir, the PS3 tower has fallen.
Killzone 2 took the fall.
I remember a lot about Haze just from playing the first level and then reading the whole thing on Wikipedia.
Yeah. X and X2 for Final Fantasy.
That you bought that because you were horny.
No, I bought this one because I'm horny.
Oh, fuck. Jesus Christ. Josh, it's not even a good game.
It's a great game.
You didn't pay $28 for that, did you?
No, I paid $13.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it before the craze. And right now, if you look for the Xbox One or PS4 version of it, it's like $100.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I'm like, $13? Fuck yeah. Dante's Inferno.
Okay. All right. They fucking marketed the shit out of that game.
No, they did. And then last but not least, Beyond Two Souls.
Okay, that's the one with Defoe and Elliot Page, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hey, solid collection there, Josh.
And I plan on, like, basically at this point, I'm collecting PS3, PS4. So I started to do Xbox, and I'm like, oh, this is becoming too much. I don't even bring a back collection because it's only 5 games, and you could probably name 3 of them
for the 360.
2 for the 360 and 3 for the Xbox One.
I'm gonna guess Titanfall.
Nope.
Titanfall 2.
Nope.
Plants vs Zombies.
Nope.
Halo. Gears of War.
I'll just tell you because you're gonna keep guessing. Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
For the 360. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare for the Xbox One. And then Odyssey and Origins for the Xbox One.
Okay. You might as well pick them all up. Get the whole collection.
Pretty much. But I was like, I did those before I did the PlayStation games. And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to stick with the PlayStation shit. So I need to get rid of all those now.
We had a sweet 360 library back in the day, and then I sold it for beer money in college.
Yeah. Honestly, we had so many sick collections at this point. I don't even want to go back and think because it's like, fuck, we could have had so much.
I didn't sell them all, though. It wasn't always me. You guys make me the bad guy that sold it all.
I mean, someone sold our DSs. No one wants to admit to it.
I don't remember selling all 4 of these DSs. By the way, in the time that it took you to announce all those, I downloaded the first Yakuza game off of Game Pass, so...
Well, great. Should we just get right into the news then?
Let's do the news. Josh, you got news for us?
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
Yeah, Dragon Age the Veilguard reviews are coming out. And Nick, I don't know if you've heard, they're strongly good.
They are good. Did you see mine by chance?
No, did you do it?
So Matt Fresh has a YouTube channel called Rongo, and I did a review of it, but it wasn't an actual review. It was a review where I played a character who gave it a high score, and then I was like, oh, I know what you're thinking. The woke gamer gave the woke game a high score. I'll have you know that I'm actually the most racist gamer you've ever met. And then eventually the video ends with me realizing that I'm wrong for being racist and being hateful of, like, and I'm air quoting really hard for those not watching, of woke games. And I watched a bunch to get ready for that. I watched a bunch of footage of this because, I mean, the whole joke of the series is that you haven't actually played the game and your review has nothing to do with the game most of the time. It looks fine. It looks just like I played a little bit of Inquisition back in the day, and Inquisition looked great. This review, by the way, is by Leanna Hafer over on IGN. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of, even the low scores. I've seen between 7 and 10 mostly.
Yeah, I mean, nothing like super negative. Like, of course, they're gonna nitpick it. Of course, I mean, obviously, we're gonna nitpick it. Like, BioWare has like fallen from the grace of us between Andromeda and Anthem.
Oh, Anthem. Oh, Anthem. What a little weird trip, Anthem. Anthem basically ate a whole console generation for them because Anthem came out and then they had to spend a bunch of time fixing Anthem, and then Anthem just kind of just fucking disappeared within what, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, because they kept saying like, "Oh yeah, we'll fix it. We'll get this roadmap. We'll show you everything we're gonna do. We're gonna make it better. We're gonna make it right." And then it just kind of like, yeah, fuck this.
I'm glad this is getting great reviews because I was not ready for like all the annoying like look what happens, go woke, go broke, boys. I was seeing a lot of that between Twitter and just very online folks, and I think that's the side effect of being very online is you subject yourself. No matter how many people you mute or block, you still get a lot of that. But yeah, I also think this is really helped out by Baldur's Gate 3 coming out last year and really like upping the ante for everything. Not that
even
like
Dragon's Dogma 2 even kind of helped because like too. I mean, yeah, it came and went, but when it came out, it was strong.
Well, and not that like they could change much after both of those games came out, but I mean, you see those come out, you see that there's a market for it. EA could have easily like last year been, and it was still called, what was it called like a year ago? It was called like Wolvengard or Wolven something.
Yeah,
Wolfsbane or whatever.
Or something better. Yeah.
EA at one point could have been like, you know what? We don't think this is gonna go. You're done. And then for all we know, Baldur's Gate 3 and Dragon's Dogma and those like deeper, those more niche games coming out kept it alive, and EA was like, yeah, you know what? Here, BioWare, come on,
Here's
it out.
More money.
Let's go. More money. Oh, the money.
Yeah, I'm just very happy it's at least seeing stellar reviews for the most part. Like that, it's just nice to see that BioWare is finally going back at least to their roots and going like, yeah, let's try and actually give something that we put our hearts into and that isn't just shit. And I'm not saying that they weren't doing that before, but I feel like EA kind of came in and was like, oh, because you're the big, like, we're the big dogs, but you guys are money makers.
It had a 9-year window. Anthem and Andromeda sucked ass. Andromeda did feel a little rushed. It was really cool. When was Andromeda? Was that 2015?
I think it was 2015.
I mean, 3 had just come out in what, 2013, 2012, somewhere in there.
2011, I think, actually.
No, because 2010 was Mass Effect 2, and I think they took like 2 years.
It was 2009.
No, because it came out January 2010.
You remember that more than I do.
I only remember it because that launch trailer came out, and then what was it after the? Because so the launch trailer for that came out in January. The November before that, the launch trailer for Modern Warfare 2 came out. Like it was it was a bing bang. Like, wow, these are really good launch trailers.
Yes, it was a really big year at that point.
That was like the peak of launch trailers. I have seen. Most of the negatives I've seen of the dialogue or like, dialogue's like not the great. Dialogue's very like doesn't feel fantasy. It feels very written. But I mean, as bad as the dialogue is, as people are saying, I mean, people are saying the characters are memorable, so it has to be good enough for those characters to really stick out to people. This does make me want to go back and play Inquisition. I've played the first hour of it and thought, yeah, this is fine.
I think I only did like maybe the first hour and then never. I even remember pre-ordering and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play it. And then I never played it.
I always found it weird. 2014, I guess, was just a very slow year in gaming because I remember Inquisition won a lot of Game of the Year awards that year, and I remember thinking like, I was like, wow, this is a really fucking slow year, isn't it?
I mean, I think honestly, just a big whirlwind at that point from 2014 all the way up to 16 or 17.
What is next, by the way? Sorry.
Let's go to Sony shutting down another game studio.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, this is a Game Right article written by Charming Holiday. Love the name.
What a great fucking name, Charming.
Right? So this is for their mobile developer, Neon Koi.
What were they Were they making anything for them?
I think because when they got bought out, it was right about the time that they were still suffering through COVID. I don't think anything actually came out from them.
Okay.
Now, they're not necessarily like gone. They're basically just pulling them away and putting them onto different
projects.
Like, I don't think they actually got rid of anybody, but it's like, Jesus, like their acquisition was only 2 years ago.
You know, Josh, we had a really good run as of late without any shutdowns. And then last week we had the Prince of Persia, we had the Ubisoft news. And this week we've got, first of all, this Neon Koi logo, fucking sick. This is a sick fucking logo. Like, this is a sick developer logo. You shut them down? Like, if I'm in charge and I see a company with a sick logo, I'm like, no, we got to keep them open. We have to keep them open. They have a really good logo. We can't shut down. They have a really good logo, you guys. Come on. For those watching, it's kind of a yin and yang spiral, but it's like a blue that transforms into a pink, and then the Neon Koi. I don't know what that font is, but I fucking love it. I need it. If anyone knows the name of this font, if anyone knows the name of this font, I usually have a font guy. My font guy got murdered. I need to know what this is.
But yeah, just another announcement of shutting down.
Our hearts also go out to the Neon Koi folks that are without jobs and are now back on the market looking.
But it gets worse. Going on to the next one.
Oh, right on. I'll just click over. We ain't even got to switch screens. What we got?
So it's been reported that Sony spent more than $200 million on Concord's development. On the emerging light of that, they decided to go ahead and shut down the developer Firewalk.
So Firewalk, if I remember correctly, so Concord comes out, shuts down like 8 days later. And then like a few months later, Firewalk's like, actually, Concord's coming back. Like, right? They had said something along those lines.
Yep.
And now Sony's like, no, nothing.
Basically just shut down.
You get nothing. By chance, Josh, you know, you're buying all these physical copies. Have you found a physical copy of Concord?
I've looked.
What's it going for on eBay? What's the price?
Oh God, let's look it up.
But $200 million, that just proves, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you spending this much time and money on a game when you're just going to shut it down 8 days later? $100?
$100.
That might be a piece of gaming history right there, Josh.
Trust me, I looked everywhere for a physical copy here, and even if I found it, apparently stores are telling people they're not selling it.
Yeah, does James still work at Target Mobile? Are you still talking to that James from Target Mobile?
I have not talked to him in a minute, but I could ask him.
Yeah,
if he still works at Target Mobile or not.
If he's still at Target Mobile, get the load. Hey, be like, man, go back, look for a Concord.
Just tell me if you got a copy back there. I'll slip you a 20 or something.
Tell him you'll slip him half of what eBay's charging for it. It's just gonna sit back.
That's a steal.
As someone, as someone who used to work at Target, shit just sits back there, you guys. It don't do nothing.
No, it honestly it stays back there until there's so much dust on it, and someone says, "Oh, we found a copy of this here. Let's go and tell corporate." And then corporate goes, "Oh, does anybody still have copies of this?" And you have to actually go dig through all the dust.
I found a day one copy of Killer Instinct, or like a Killer Instinct code from like I worked there. I think I worked there in 2015?
2014, 2015.
Yeah, so I worked there 2014, 2015. Killer Instinct would have been, I guess Killer Instinct was 2013. I did find some old Xbox shit. And I was like, wow, we still have this? Why is this here?
Still had unopened Skylanders.
Jesus, I forgot about those.
And what's the Disney one?
Disney Infinity.
Yes.
I only remember because Target, if you worked at Target on Sunday mornings, you would put out that new ads. So I know everyone listening to this who's never worked at retail put out new ads. You're like, oh, you just put out the new things that come in the newspaper around the store? No. My dear sweet summer child. When you're in the store and like, you know, something's on sale and it's got that little tab on the shelf, you're putting all of those in for the week.
Oh, it's more than that. Remember when they did like price changes and you actually had to move like everything's locations. You actually had to take all the old tabs out and put the new ones in.
And you had to move, and like your hands would just be raw and smell like weird ink and paper.
And you were trying to do whatever you can to finish before 7:30 when those doors open up and all the fat fucks coming in to look out to see if we got any new amiibos.
Exactly. You would get there at 5, and all right, here's toys and electronics. Get this done. And if you didn't have it done by opening, you had to still do it. You had to keep going, and you would get in. Can you get me the Beats? I need a pair of Beats. And you check them out. Do you want to buy the electronics protection? Blah blah blah. Which you shouldn't buy. We're stealing from you at that point. I hated it. I hated that almost as much as I hated going to Walmart and doing the price checks.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got really good at that, you know what you could do? Just put in fake prices.
True.
I used to just fuck the shit up all the time. I'd be like, eggs, $5. Eggs are $5 at Target now because I put that shit in all the time. Like, well, they're $5 at Walmart, you guys. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Go get it at Target while it's on sale.
But to circle it all back to everything being too expensive, why would you spend $200 million on a games as a service that, first of all, it wasn't even a free one. You weren't doing like a battle pass or anything. Why would you spend this much money? Why? Reported millions exceeded by acquisition and marketing. It's just, why? It's stupid. You're stupid with your money. You're dumb. You're worse. I thought I was stupid with my money. No, it's you, Sony. It's you.
Well, we're also not at the same company to decide, we're going to introduce the Pro, but make it be $700 and it doesn't come with a disk drive.
And history and Microsoft is so far behind Sony, so I don't even think they have a chance at catching up. But history is repeating itself. Sony enters into an odd number PlayStation, and they find a way to fucking fumble. They're on the 1 yard. They're like, we got a good lead, and then they fucking fumble the ball. Like with PS3, they're like, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it 600. How much was the PS3? 500 out of the gate.
Yeah, it was like 500. But then people are trying to defend the new Pro prices. They're like, well, if you look back at the PS5 and inflation, fuck your PS3 and inflation, motherfucker. Like, no, that's
what was
$700 for a diskless, and people are saying, like, even the developers come out saying it's not worth the cost.
So yeah, PS3, what was it? It was the trailers that they tried to pass as gameplay, the fucking price. It was harder to develop for because of the chip they used for it. And they just kept fucking up. And then PS4, they get a lead. And now PS5, they're like, we don't have an identity anymore. Those third-person story games? You're getting tired of them. So we're going to do games as a service, but we're going to do it very poorly.
Oh, also, instead of charging you $59.99 for your new games, we're going to charge you $69.99 for your new games.
They're all doing that, though. I think, wasn't the new
No,
Zelda?
But like Sony was like the first ones to be like, yeah, we're going to start doing this. And everyone was like, if they're doing it, we're going to do it too.
RIP Concord and everyone who lost their jobs. We're sorry. I hope you guys land on your feet. Hopefully you land on your feet at a publisher or at a developer that's better with their money. Fingers crossed.
Speaking of which...
Jesus fucking Christ, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft
Jesus fucking
delivering.
Christ, Ubisoft. Go ahead, Josh.
Ubisoft just quietly launched a full-blown NFT game. This is an IGN article written by Rebecca Valentine.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca. I don't know what to say anymore at this point. Ubisoft at this point has shot themselves, like they've unloaded their whole entire fucking magazine into their foot. There's nothing left. It's mangled.
Is this a free game?
I'm pretty sure it is actually, yeah.
Oh no. Well, let's pull up let's see if let's play some. I want to see the official trailer here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn the volume down. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit for the folks at home. Ubisoft Quartz is a new experience. Playable and energy efficient. Ubisoft's NFTs. This feels like it's so old. It's all words so far, no gameplay.
Oh, it's not. That's just their thing. It's the Champions Tactics.
Oh, okay, so let me get out of this.
I'm blind. I was like, I think it's the quartz one. I was like, no, that can't be.
Oh, here we
right.
go. Champions
Yeah.
Tactics. All right, we clicked
It's
on the
okay.
wrong
Well-
one. I'm sorry. Are we older than 17? We are. Jesus.
We're okay.
Wait, is this a card battler?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. Don't tell me that.
They literally calling it a PvP tactical RPG game on PC.
Master Arizo. Oh no, there's figures. Oh no. Josh, I'm kind of digging it.
Nah, don't. It's got okay. As far as I'm aware, someone please correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first NFT game that all of these companies have been promising they were going to release for the past 5 years, when NFTs were relevant.
I mean, there have been others, but nothing like of this scale. Josh, it looks pretty good, and it's free on PC. I
think
might
it's Ubisoft.
have to check it out.
It's Ubisoft.
I think I'm gonna check it out next week.
You're a sick son of a
I
bitch.
think I'm gonna
Guys,
check it
don't.
out.
As a guy who's bought all of his Assassin's Creed games secondhand, other than Mirage, because it was cheaper to buy it new and deluxe on Woot than it was anywhere else.
Woot.
Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. It's Ubisoft.
Let me read this quote from the article, or let me read this quote. Our shared goal is to explore new ways to play alongside, bringing more value to players based on empowerment and ownership.
Yeah, full of shit.
Ubisoft,
It's
fuck
Ubisoft.
you.
It's
Fuck you.
Ubisoft, guys.
I'm still probably gonna check it out. I'm
God
keeping
damn
that
it.
tab open just so I can remember it.
All right, let's move on to the meme.
Josh, you keep doing my transitions. Josh, you got a meme for us?
Me time.
I sure do.
All right, what we got here?
It's Bioware to Ubisoft. There can only be one.
Hey, go ahead and explain it for the folks at home.
First off, it's a Highlander reference. Since releasing Dragon Age Veilguard, Veilguard, right?
The Veilguard.
The Veilguard, sorry, is technically an open world RPG, and that's where Ubisoft has been failing recently with all of their games. Basically, as well, a lot of them are open world RPGs. So, I jokingly say that BioWare is coming in to take that throne.
You know what? You know what other meme I would have accepted, Josh?
I'm listening.
You know, the Social Network with is it Justin Timberlake in that movie? And he plays the guy from Napster, and he's like, "Drop the."
Yeah.
So it's him. He's like, and he sees the title of the original game. So it's Dragon Age Wolfenvine or whatever it's called. Wolfbound. I think it's called Wolfbound. And he's like, "Drop Wolfbound. Just the Veilguard."
Know what I should have done? Now I'm thinking about it.
Let's hear it.
Stop it, Ubisoft. I have the high ground.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I should have done.
Mine was the best. Mine was the best, Joshua.
Uh,
All right. Hey, Halloween's in a few days here. If you're here listening to this on Wednesday, Halloween is in fact tomorrow. So for this last segment, we're both going to name off our top 5 scariest video games we've ever played. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go with the first Evil Within. I've never played the second one. I stopped in the first one after the first 30 minutes because I couldn't handle how fucking scary it was. For those wondering, the game opens up where you enter this, it's essentially Resident Evil 4. You enter a village, you're looking for, I think, someone or something.
Do you enter an asylum?
An asylum. You're still on the outside, though. You're on the outside trying to enter, because I remember you being outside.
Yeah, you arrive to the asylum because the police get called. You get there. You and your 2 junior detectives go in while everybody else is outside. But by the time you get inside, you realize everybody's dead. And then it just kind of goes in downward spiral from there, where you get chased by Safe Face. I can't remember his name.
Well, I just remember being...
You're talking about the scene afterwards where you see the city start to transition and you crash the ambulance and then you work your way to the village.
He remembers it better than I do. So you're working your way towards the village. You're being attacked by a bunch of villagers. You run into a hallway that's full of traps. There's a guy with a chainsaw running about. The There's borders on top of the screen and on the bottom of the screen. You can't see everything. It's so unsettling. It's scary. The game is very grainy. I remember being very grainy. And it's a lot to take in. It felt like, it felt like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre like remake. It just felt gritty and horrifying. And that's why I only played the first 30 minutes of it. And I'll never go back just because even watching someone play it, like watching someone stream it, I can't fucking do it. I'm too scared. Too much of a scaredy cat.
Really?
Can't play the first Evil Within. Can't do it, won't do it. What's your number 5, Josh?
Okay, well, I'm going to try my best not to copycat you. I'm going to go ahead and go with Dead Space.
The remake or the original?
The original. When it first came out, it definitely was one of those, like, I at least personally had to play it with it being a little more brighter. Just because, obviously their AI was a little different compared to the games at the time where there wasn't the same thing over and over again. The enemies would come through different grates, different kinds of enemies would come out. They could come at you at any time. You could literally be walking in the middle of a hallway minding your own business. You just kill a bunch of enemies and all of a sudden you have a screecher right behind you shooting you in the ass, which is very grotesque. I mean, and the fact that you could dismember everything, just very gory, very bloody. So it's just like it's more jump scares, not so much like terrifying as in like, you're quaking in your boots every 5 seconds, but enough to like keep you on the edge of your seat going, oh, what the fuck? Where are they coming from? Who's going to come next? What am I going to have to fight and deal with? And of course, it's also a very dark game.
Well, then I also remember if you read the first letter of every level,
yep,
it gives you a special message.
Oh, yes. One of the greatest Easter eggs, in my opinion, ever.
It's spooky when they can work stuff like that into the game.
Yeah.
Gets me every time. My number 4, I originally had Slay the Princess, and I had more time to think about it. I'm going with Silent Hill 3.
Oh, okay.
Silent Hill 3 is just this moody, like, tie back to the first game, which I've never played the first game. I've never played 2 all the way. I've never played 2 all the way through. I have played parts of 2. But 3 is just, you're immediately in Silent Hill. You're playing, I forget Heather's last name, but you're playing Heather, who is the daughter of Harry from the first game. And it's just, you're in a...
Oh, second game.
No, Harry's from the first game. James is the guy?
James second.
James is the second game.
You're right, sorry.
I haven't even played it, and I knew that, Joshua.
Sorry, I get confused, okay?
You know what? It's Silent Hill. It's horror. Silent Hill is horror's Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I'm gonna stick by it.
You're not. That's honestly, that's pretty accurate.
I'm gonna stand by that take.
That's pretty fucking accurate.
I'm gonna stand by that take. You know what? I'm gonna tweet that out. Fuck them. I don't care. But no, there's an early level where you're in a carnival, and there's like a dead mascot, and you just see their body laying there. Again, the creatures are disgusting based off of like Heather's fears and insecurities. There's the mirror room, which I think is the scariest room. If you go in, your reflection just kind of stands there, and the room starts to like get red and veiny and disgusting, and eventually kills you. And these games, the sound design of these games, most of these games are 20 years old at this point, is terrifying. Like you'll be in a room, and it sounds like something's approaching you from like 3 rooms away, and you can hear the footsteps. It's fucking terrifying, man. I think there's a wheelchair scare in this game where like a wheelchair will be straight up, and then you turn the corner, like you leave, and then you come back, and then it's on its side. I know it's the most basic thing, but it's fucking terrifying because it implies something was just in here, something was just around the corner. If you play the game on hard mode, the fucking puzzles are ridiculous. There's an early one where you have to put the Shakespeare poems in the right order. And I think it was one of those games where you could make the puzzles more difficult. So like if you played on the easiest, you would just have the names of the poem. But if you played on the hardest, the names on the side of the books would be rubbed off, and you'd have to guess what poem it is based off of reading an excerpt from the book, and to put them in the right order still. Fucking great game. Fucking right. I almost want to put it higher, but I'm going to keep it right there. What's your number 4?
I'm going to say my number 4 is going to be, remember that Zombie?
Yes, the Wii U zombie game.
Yes, and they eventually released it onto the other consoles, but it wasn't called Zombie. They called it something else.
I think they just called it Zombie at that point.
Yeah, something like that. Not so much the normal difficulty. There was a hard mode difficulty where if you basically died, it was game over. You had to start over.
I
But
love
there's
those
also,
modes.
yes, I do too. The hardest mode was scary as shit because not only were you trying to not fumble and die and have to restart from the beginning, the zombies would swarm you. And they were a lot more terrifying. They had like what I call the Resident Evil eyes. They got like the red eyes in the dark, and um, they are just a lot more aggressive. And it's just like I said, it's one of those. Yes, they relied on the darkness, and you're in England, so it's like you're basically like in the not the catacombs, like the sewers, trying to scour around and get all your equipment and get out of the area. But just very it's just something about, like I said, a dark environment and putting you with creatures of the night. Just something that's so good about it, and it's a realistic one. It's not like a Dying Light where you can climb over them and jump,
Parkour.
and it's not Dead Rising where you could climb, surf on top of them and get in vehicles. It was more of a realistic, like, hey, you're gonna have to do whatever you can to survive, and if you get scratched, you're basically screwed, and if you die, well, fuck you.
Well, you're fucking dead.
Yes.
What do British zombies sound British?
No.
Are they,
No, they sounded like normal zombies except for their royal police were the only thing that was different because you did run into a couple of them.
I think the box is like
Yeah,
a,
the
a
box
UK
was
cop.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Good choice. Good choice. My I'm leaning down because I'm getting spooky now. It's spooky. We don't have background music for this one. Not this week. We did the background music last week. I blew my creepy music budget on last week's episode, so we don't have spooky
That was
music
weak.
this week. My number 3 is a recent release from 2022, Signalis. Do you remember Signalis, Josh?
I do remember Signalis.
Have you played it?
No, I only watched you play it.
I think you'd like it. It's weeb coded. It's very weeb coded. You play an android who is looking for her human lover. Well, her human like master, but it's implied that she's your lover. And you're on the ship with all these other you're on this planet with all these other androids that have been corrupted, and they look very Silent Hilly, just like haunted images of what an android would be. The game is it's not a pixelated game, it's hand drawn, but it's got that pixel vibe to it. Everything looks mucky and dirty and very foggy. So you're basically on the space station that's on this planet that is you guys are a colonist on this planet basically. And so you're looking for your person. You find out they're in the mines on the planet, so you keep going down, but like the deeper down you go, the creepier things get. The game starts breaking rules the deeper down you get. So like in a game, if you're in it's a top down game, so or it's like the camera's 3/4 down and you can see yourself in the room. Like if you go into a door to the left, you come out of the door to the right later on, right? In the next room. It starts to change that. So you go into a door on the left and you come into a room from the bottom. It starts fucking with you in ways like that. And it's just very haunting. The enemies are very scary looking. The central mystery is really good. I take a shot every time Nick says mystery in this fucking speech about Signalis. Just an overall good game that went for early PS1 vibes and did really well capturing it. And I think it had like some inventory problems because it was very Resident Evil where like you would have 6 and you can only drop stuff off in the chest. You couldn't like drop it. I think they fixed that to where you can drop shit wherever now.
That's good.
Yeah, so they were listening. Really good indie game. Yeah. Josh, what you got?
I've got one that you're probably going to go, oh, okay. Condemned.
Yeah, that fucking game. I'm surprised I don't have that on my list. I was just thinking of that game the other day.
So obviously, I think the sequel flopped, in my opinion, personally.
The bear is scary.
Yeah, the bear's scary.
The bear is scary. Other than that, it's too action oriented.
But I think Condemned did a great job of giving you that first person. I technically beat him up.
It does the investigation stuff really well.
It does. And honestly, when you're going through the levels trying to just honestly survive, it's just so creepy because you'll be walking and all of a sudden you'll just hear like somebody whisper in your ear and you're like, well, what the fuck? And you have to look around.
Can't do
Like,
it.
yeah, it's like, but at the same time, you're like, it's just all in your head because there's nobody around.
The fucking mannequins, that
Oh, yeah,
whole shopping outlet
Yep.
was terrifying. And you know what? The more I think about the sequel, I hate how horror tends to have this trend where if they don't have like a clear coat idea for the sequel, they go more action oriented.
Yep.
Which drives me crazy because I get it. Alien and Aliens, two sides of a coin that did it perfectly. Terminator did it. I get the notion to want to do it because other folks have done it and done it well. Condemned just didn't do it. Like that first game, it had this side to it where like you'd be in a room investigating, you'd be looking for fingerprints, you'd be using like your different tools. You felt like you were a forensics officer. And then you would finish that part and then you'd end up in another room with like a crowbar and like 10 fucking loonies coming at you. And you'd have to fight your way through them. But then you'd be going through a hallway and you'd see someone run by and you're like, did I see that person? Am I actually getting ready to fight this person, or is the game fucking with me right now?
But then we got the sequel where it was basically bum fights.
It was the bum fight episode of American Dad.
Yes.
Wasn't there? I think there's a moment in Condemned where you're investigating a body. I think it's stuffed in a locker or something, or it's in a tight space and you're investigating it. You're doing your scans on it, and then it turns and looks at you.
I think that's the third body you find because that's when all the weird shit starts to happen.
Right, and I think it's actually alive in that moment, and then you're like, "Oh, you guys saved him. He's alive. Ha ha ha," or something like that.
Yeah, so because at that point so after the first scene is you get your gun stolen from you and your partner gets shot and killed, so you're being framed for murder. And I think at that point though you find a cop who actually or investigator who believes you and is working with you.
And I think that first game makes guns feel very powerful. Like,
because they are
shooting someone and they're dead. There's another game that did that recently where I was like, oh shit. Midnight Fight Express, which is like a three-dimensional isometric top down whatever beat 'em up where like you're using fist and items in the arena, but if you get a gun and you shoot someone, they like pop across the room and die. Like one bullet and they're dead. But yeah, anytime you have a gun in that game, in Condemned, you feel very powerful. And again, I think that's what the second one gets wrong. The second one's like, oh, guns all the time. We're John Wick before John Wick is a thing.
Bum fights.
We're doing bum fights. Anything else on Condemned?
Fight for that chicken sandwich. No, that's it.
I think that guy in that locker actually ends up dying, like right away.
I'm pretty sure. I think all the victims in the game die.
I'm pretty sure. I think that's yeah. I think they do. The murder victims. That's why they're murder victims.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Remake, Resident Evil Remake, which by the way is 22. So, you know how we complain about remakes. It's about time Remake got a remake.
And I'm okay with that though, especially since they've got the formula down with the behind the back.
Do you think they do behind the back for this one though?
Yeah.
Because Lisa Trevor would be great with the Nemesis system.
I think they do it, but I also think that they release like either you beat it or it's DLC where they give you the fixed camera angles.
So I haven't played RE2. Do you think because the mansion's big, but can they render the whole mansion at the same time and like it's basically Lisa Trevor's playground anytime you're in the mansion?
I can see it because they did a really great job with 2 with the police station. So I definitely think that it's very plausible.
Because there's only 2 rooms in the police station where Mr. X can't go, but otherwise there's like no load screens in the police station, right?
Yeah, and you can hear him walk everywhere. Like he could literally be across to the other wing, and you could still hear him, sort of.
Dude, you kind of talked me into it. But no, so Remake came out in 2002. By the way, still looks great for a 22-year-old game. You can thank the pre-rendered backgrounds that just fucking pop. The zombies are scary. Lisa Trevor, new addition to the game, is also scary. She kind of explains does she explain the Nemesis virus or like part of the T? I forget exactly what she does.
She is part of the,
or is it the G virus that like?
I think she's like part of the G virus technically.
Yeah, because she gets by the end, she's got like Nemesis tentacles or
And
Birkin
then you
tentacles.
also got Crimson Heads.
So Crimson Head was a new terrifying thing. If you killed a zombie, it wasn't enough to just leave it be. You had to either burn the zombie or shoot the head off.
Or shoot the legs off.
Or you could shoot the legs off.
Yep, you could destroy the legs too, and that would work too.
Could you knife them? Could you knife them off? Just sit there and hack the legs off when they were dead?
Oh no.
Oh, you had to like shotgun them or missile them.
Yeah, shotgun or bazooka.
Okay. Yeah. So if you left a zombie intact, it would come back later as a crimson head that had like these bloodshot crimson red eyes and was faster and would chase you. And one swipe would be half death. I think they were more deadlier than hunters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because they would also follow you.
They would follow you. So if you went into a new room, a door would start to like the door from the previous room would like start to shake because something's trying to break through.
Zombies would do that too, but Crimson Heads could do it faster.
Crimson Heads would bust through faster. Could they bust in? They couldn't bust into save rooms though, right?
No, that's the only places they couldn't get to you is the save rooms.
Yeah. And just that whole setting of the Spencer mansion, the lab, the surrounding area of the mansion is just terrifying. It does what those first 3 Resident Evils, I think what people forget is that the characters are fun and cool, but like the thing that really made those first 3 games were those settings. Are arguably the first 2. I mean, the police station and the mansion are like the top fucking, I wouldn't even call them levels. I just call them settings. The top settings of all time, just because there's just so much. There's just so much fucking. What's the word I'm looking for here? Josh, help me.
Nostalgia.
Not nostalgia, but there's so much like environmental storytelling.
Yeah.
The journals really tell you a lot. Like you'll walk into a room and like the bed will be disheveled, there'll be blood everywhere, and then you find a journal and it's itchy, scratchy, tasty, and you're like, oh, well, someone became a zombie in this room.
That, but they did a really great job of explaining why you can find ammunition around certain spots. And it's not like she's like, oh yeah, they're gonna find a random 15 rounds here in this bedroom because you can. They're like literally. There's actually a journal in like the police station. You're in like one of the meeting rooms, and it literally says, "Yeah, so our plan to spread out our stash is not working out really well. We're running out of ammo, and it's getting hard to figure out where we placed everything without the map because they lost the map." And it's like, oh, that makes sense why you find all these random stashes of ammunition everywhere.
Resident Evil and Silent Hill, I think, kind of were the peak of like people writing notes in games or writing journals in games. Because now I kind of feel like it's overdone. It's kind of like you get a note and you're like, why would you write this? What are you doing? Whereas Resident Evil's like, okay, these people worked in this mansion, they're journaling. Okay, this guy got tired of people asking about where to find the soil for this plant, so he wrote it down for them, or like this key code was written down for him. I don't think I've seen like a written note that I've liked in a game. I think the most recent would probably be The Last of Us 2, when you discover the note about the town who turned on the one guy, so he turned on all of them and started killing them all and locked them in the he either killed them all or he locked them all in a garage with one of the infected. I forget exactly what it was. But it was a good note. I was like, "Oh, but again, why are you writing all this down? Why are you guys writing this down? I don't understand." But Resident Evil Remake, it holds up. I think they'll remake that before they even consider Code Veronica, Josh. I'm sorry.
I think we'll get Code Veronica and then we'll get that.
No, it's not happening.
Yeah.
We'll make a gentleman's bet on it.
All right.
What's your number 2?
I'm going to go with a recent one. The Mortuary. I'm going to push this. Mortuary's Assistant.
Mortuary's
Assistant. Yes.
You've played this?
I've played it.
I've only watched people play this, and I can't do it. Like I've seen like they'll look up in the corner, and the guy in like the all white bodysuit will be standing there, and then like disappear behind like a door or something.
Or you see the girl sticking her head through the window, and she cracks it open, smiling at you, and you're like, fuck. It's just full of like the creepy shit happening, and it's like, dude. They just found everything they could and found every little aspect to make it as creepy as possible and make you question like what the fuck is going on the whole time.
It's so fucking scary. It got optioned already to be turned into a movie. Which I believe, I'm like, yeah, do it.
Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, and you find out like you're not just the typical assistant. You find out that like, hey, you have to do a little bit more. Apparently the world is evil and you need to figure out what the curse is, and then you do certain things differently that you would, other than your typical job as a mortuary assistant.
How long can a game take? Like 20 minutes, an hour? What are we talking here?
To define define a game at that point. It honestly, I think the longest I had gone was an hour and a half, and like there is a story.
Right. Because you're trying to discover like, oh, what is going on here? Like what demon is this? What body is this demon in?
Yeah. And you're just I mean, and at the same time you're also doing your job of taking care of someone's loved one.
Getting the dead ready for the great beyond, yeah.
Yes. So it's just very nerve-wracking. I would say hour and a half, 2 hours. Like I would say 2 hours is probably a good.
It's a good fucking streaming game. It's fun to watch people play that game.
It is honestly, it's one of those games where if they introduced a VR, I would not do it.
I might do it.
You won't even do it. You won't even do it for my number one, you sick son of a bitch.
Oh shit, that's my number one. I'll do my other number one.
No, we can both do it. Let's just say it right now. Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia. Well, I have two number ones.
Well, go ahead and say your other number one real quick.
Well, okay, so my other number one's a recent game, so this might be recency bias, but I put Reveal on there. Do you remember Reveal, Josh?
I think so.
This is the game. This is the game where you're looking for your daughter. You and your wife used to work at a carnival.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you keep you go into her room to try and find her, and then it transforms into the carnival, and it kind of does the flashback stuff, and it ends up having memory stuff. Is this your memory? Is this someone else's memory? And it just does a lot of scary stuff with perception and how you feel about things and why you feel that way about things. And I don't want to spoil it, but I think it is one of the scariest games from a not a philosophy standpoint. It's just the things it makes you think about how you feel about things. It's terrifying. Is it the best game ever made in the world? Or it's in the world. Is it the best game ever made? No, it's got its faults. Every game I've listed has its faults today. But Reveal it does this thing. It does this thing that really good horror should do, and it leaves you thinking about things in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really good game. I think everyone should check it out. I think it's going to make my top 10 for the year. Speaking of Goaty, so that's only a month away, Josh.
It's not Goaty, so it's just Goaty, Nick.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Goaty. It's going to make my top 10 in Goaty for sure.
And then, of course, Phasmophobia, guys.
Yeah, our number one overall together is Phasmophobia. It's terrifying. So those who don't know, Phasmophobia is the 4-player co-op ghost hunting game where you go into a house and you have to discover what spirit is haunting the house. And it's fucking with you. I remember the first time. Well, first of all, my PC melts every time a ghost is active. So the game stutters. I start to lose frames when the ghost gets active. So I always have it spoiled for me a little bit. But then my game will slow down. I think the first time what's that first level? Is it the spring house or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
The most basic level. And I was in that living room and a light was flickering, and then I turn and there's a face right in front of me, and I fucking scream, dude. I fucking scream so fucking loud. I don't think I had kids yet at this point, so count my lucky stars, or my kid was 10 rooms away from me. Terrifying game, even when you have people. I'm the biggest chicken. Even if you guys all go into a house, I'll be I'm going to stay in the van. I'm not going in there.
Yeah, and then, of course, I'm oh, guys, they have it for VR, and I've got a VR headset. Let's give that a try. I've never been more fucking terrified in my life of a game. It's not... Okay, let me say this right now. There is a perk to being in VR, and it is you can carry 4 items rather than 3. So that's nice.
You hold them all in your hand, right?
You put 2 in your inventory, and then you have 1 in each hand, yes.
Oh, so it's hey, we're going to scare the shit out of you, but you get an extra thing.
Yes.
Here's an extra salt packet.
Having a ghost fucking appear in front of you, or having it, when you're talking to it, whisper in your ear... Once again, Condemn was fucking terrifying when someone whispered in your ear, but back in the day, we didn't have these bad boys. It was on speakers, so it wasn't as scary. You have this on and you hear, kill. Fuck it, I'm out of here. No. Or the lights start to flicker? No, nope. I fucking hide behind whoever I can. I have my crucifix, I got my salt ready. Bitch, come on, draw that circle.
I don't think I've, when there's a hunt and I'm the target, I don't think I've ever survived a hunt.
No, I've never survived one. But then again, I've watched. There's people who've. I say this was a speed ran it. And the shit they do, it's like, oh, they're like they've got this down to a T. Like they know what they're doing. They know what like how to fight it and stuff. And they will find like the bones. They'll take the picture. They'll do all of it. And it's like, nah, we fucking play for scares. We don't fuck this going in for business. I want scares.
And I do think the game gets scarier once you get into the bigger levels. So like the school, like you're
The
like,
school is fucking terrifying.
There's 2 levels. There's like 10 rooms per level, and you're like
the gymnasium alone.
The whole mission of the game is like, all right, we have to find the room that this fucker's haunting, and it can hunt you in any like it can hunt you and kill you at any place, but you have to find the specific room this motherfucker's base of operation is in, and there's only 4 of you, and there's so many rooms.
The motherfucker had more hiding places than Al Qaeda.
And there's no fucking guarantee that you're going to have the right tools needed to find find this thing. Which my thing is always I whore the temperature gun. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, hey, hold on. It's like,
my thing, I would just go with the camera, put on that night vision.
What does the night vision do for you? Like, does it pick something up?
No, you don't have to worry about carrying a flashlight because the flashlight will start to flicker when they're there. But you have the camera with night vision, you can actually just see. You don't have to worry about it flickering.
I'd rather have the flickering though. Because then I know something. Because as soon as it's flickering, I'm turning around and getting out of there. I can
look at you or Jake with the flashlight and go, nope, turn around. I'm out of this bitch. I ain't gonna fuck with no ghost.
That game is so much fun. It's so stupid. It's fun to get scared together.
Yes.
That's a good list, Josh. I like your lists. I like mine better.
I like your list.
Thank you.
I will admit, you got some, honestly, I think between both of us, we have a pretty good. Like, if we were to nitpick, we could make a pretty decent list.
I'm glad Outlast wasn't on either of our lists. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary, but we found scary.
It is, but I mean, don't get me wrong. It that's what it's there for, though. It's like more of like a, you know what you're getting yourself into. Obviously, with all of these games, you know what you're getting into. But I think it's just more of a, you play it once and it's like not really that scary. Like after that, it's not scary. There's no replayability.
You get a feel for it. Outlast walked, so the rest of these games could run and make you shit your pants.
And I'm honestly shocked neither one of us put Alien Isolation.
I haven't played it. I want to. Especially
I should have thrown it in there, but I was like, honestly, I think we talked about it enough last week.
I have it because Epic was giving it away at one point, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking grab the game. Yeah, I'm not gonna pass this up. Am I stupid? No. Hey everybody, we reached the end of the show. That's right. Hey Josh, we came in at, I'm not even gonna tell you how long. You can guess later. Guys, if you want to find me, Nick, anywhere, you can find me on Twitter at That Kaufman. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Nick Fat Knight. I found out people are still using my Nick Fat Knight YouTube for Iron Harvest.
Nice.
I posted, someone posted for tips on Iron Harvest, so I shared my thing. And someone else was like, oh, I love Nick Fat Knight. He taught me how to do everything on this game. And I was like, oh. What's scary Terry? Oh, bitch. So yeah, it's cool. I have Iron Harvest stuff over there. If you're playing Iron Harvest for some reason, go check it out. I've also got my Titanfall 3 piece that I talked about last week is up on hard drive. It was a hit. It was a fucking hit. The Titanfall 3 players that are in pain waiting for the game love it. So go read that over on hard drive. No review. My latest review is Frostpunk 2. And then I've also got my GameCube piece coming up, which I would have had done if not for my ankle. That's all I got to say about that. Josh, where can the people find you?
You can find me anywhere and everywhere. I'm Josh Sang. I have my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed review out over at Game Chronicles. And then my piece on the importance of the dying physical media and the importance of why we need to bring it back. It is live.
Hold the fucking phone. Hold on. This is live.
It should be live. Now I forgot to press publish.
Let's
and I
check.
forget the website already.
Now I want to make sure that you also did the thumbs, the picture right. Nope, not up there, Josh. I'm not seeing it.
Hold on. We're doing it live.
We're doing it. Hey, Josh is posting his first piece live.
Account dashboard.
Oh boy, hold on. I'm so excited for this. While Josh is doing that, I will plug the website. You can find us at smashinggametime.com. There we have our podcast. We have our words. In fact, Josh's first words. It's been a year, but he fucking did it. He fucking did it. It's fucking here. Josh's first words are here. You can also find the podcast anywhere on socials. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're more active on Twitter and Instagram right now. We slowed down on the TikTok because it just felt so soulless, folks. Let's be honest. You just come here and get all the shit. You don't need to fucking see the clips. Yeah, that's everywhere we're on social. Again, I'll say it, smashinggametime.com. Podcast is everywhere you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, YouTube Podcast, YouTube Proper, where you can see our wonderful faces. Fuck the algorithm. Tell a friend. We ain't give a shit about that algorithm. Fuck that algorithm. Thank you, as always, to Alex Marvin Clark for his intro and outro song, Hunt Him Down. We have a link to his SoundCloud down in the show notes. Go check him out. Alex has some cool stuff. Josh, do I need to hit refresh? Oh, it's there.
Yes. Yeah.
And he picked a good fucking picture. The dying art of physical media in gaming. Why it matters more than ever. Josh, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. Did you take this picture or is this...
Someone posted it on Reddit, actually.
Oh, that's really fucking sad.
Yeah.
Make sure...
I was like, oh, this actually works out. Yeah, no, I still got to give credit to him.
Yeah, make sure, give in the little footing of the picture, give credit to the...
Yeah, I forgot because it didn't appear until after I just published it. I was like, oh yeah, I probably need to do that still.
Look at
yeah, it's
you.
up.
He did 7 paragraphs. Look at him. I'm so proud. You fucking beat me to it. I have to see what paragraph size you did for these words, so I make sure to do the same thing. I'm all over the place with my paragraph size.
Mine varies a lot. Like towards the end, it starts. I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I might basically feel like I'm repeating myself.
Oh no, by that I meant so like you can on the words you can pick like paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I'll make sure they match. Well, for articles, we'll do whatever size this is. We'll get it right. We'll get it down. Hey, everybody, it's been Smashing Game Time. I hope you all had a smashing great time. We'll see each and every one of you next time. Kid was like 10 rooms away from me. Terrifying game, even when you have people, like I'm the biggest chicken. Like even if you guys all go into a house, I'll be like, I'm going to stay in the room. I'm not going in there.
Yeah, then of course I was like, oh, guys, they have a VR. I've got a VR headset. Let's give that a try. I've never been more fucking terrified in my life. It's not okay. I'm gonna say this right. There is a perk to being in VR, and it is you can carry 4 items rather than 3. So that's nice.
You hold them all in your hand, right?
You put 2 in your inventory, and you have 1 in each.
Oh, so it's like, hey, we're gonna scare the shit out of you, but you get an extra thing.
Yes.
Here's an extra salt packet.
Having a ghost fucking appear in front of you, or having it like when you're talking to it, whisper in your ear. Once again, it was fucking terrifying when someone whispered in your ear. But back in the day, we didn't have any of that. It was all speakers, so it wasn't as scary. You have this on and you hear, get out. Fuck it, I'm out of here. No. Or the lights start to flicker? No, nope. I fucking hide behind whoever I can. I have my crucifix. I got my salt ready. I'm like, bitch, come on, draw that circle.
I don't think I've like when there's a hunt and I'm the target. I don't think I've ever survived a hunt.
No, I've never survived one. But then again, I've watched. There's people who've. I say this was a speed ran it. And the shit they do, it's like, oh, they're like they've got this down to a T. Like they know what they're doing. They know what like how to fight it and stuff. And they will find like the bones. They'll take the picture. They'll do all of it. And it's like, nah, we fucking play for scares. We don't fuck this going in for business. I want scares.
And I do think the game gets scarier once you get into the bigger levels. So like the school, like you're like,
school is fucking terrifying.
There's 2 levels. There's like 10 rooms per level, and you're like
the gymnasium alone.
The whole mission of the game is like, all right, we have to find the room that this fucker's haunting, and it can.